Greetings, welcome to the Prosperous Musician, and I have a very special guest with me today. It's Tammy Mariah. Hello.
Hi.
And we finally got Tammy on the show because we've been trying a few times, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen. But today, the stars have aligned, and here we are live. And yeah, so the Tammy, became aware of Tammy through a previous guest on the show, Louise Porter, who was one of the first guests on the show. She, of course, being the manager of Mystique, amongst other things. And she's got a great connection, a great network of artists, young artists that she works with, and a really great producer in Norway. And that's how I was found out about Tammy. So maybe you can take the story from there, Tammy. How did you get started in music, and how did you meet Louise?
So I've been in music for my whole life. It's a very big part of my life in general. So it was kind of a natural way to go with what I was doing. I met Louise about a year ago, and I was actually a part of a girl band, and we decided to disband. So she messaged me and said, if you ever want to go solo, then feel free to contact me, and I did. So it's actually worked out a lot better. I think it's allowed me to express my songwriting skills myself, and definitely get my inspiration across with my music.
And what was the girl band called?
They were called Pretty Fierce. It was such a long time ago. I don't think they're doing it anymore, but if they are, then congratulations.
So was that a band that you got together yourself, or was it sort of you were put into that band? How did that start?
So originally it was the three of them, and they wanted a fourth, and I joined for a little while, but we had different ideas of what we wanted as music. I was more into the dance, and they were more into the pop. So it just didn't work out like that, really. There's no bad blood at all. They're all lovely people, but it just didn't work out for me. It's normal. It happens.
So you're about 22, 23, is that right?
I'm 22. Yeah.
22. So, and you've been in music all of your life. So how did you actually get started in music? At what kind of age were you when you first started performing?
I would say that I was about 5, possibly younger when I started singing. So my first performance was definitely Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which apparently I
Mine
wouldn't
too.
get off the stage. So that was my first performance. I've been told I came out singing from the womb. Like literally, they thought I was crying, and yeah, my mum's convinced I was singing the whole time, which I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it started off there really. I went through until I was 14 doing singing lessons in my hometown. And then after that, I was doing loads of different performances. They were technically little ones. And then I had a crowd of 200. And I really fell in love with the feeling of performing. And I actually went on to be a performer at holiday parks for about 3 years. And then it wasn't until that point that I realised that I actually had an knack for songwriting, and I actually enjoyed doing it. I have written a song which I know is going to come back to haunt me at some point. It's actually on YouTube of me when I was in secondary school, just coming from primary school, and it's all over YouTube, and we can't remember the password, so it's just going to be there forever. So I know someone's going to find it. It wasn't too bad.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's going to be a good record of when you first started your first song. 'Cause, let's face it, everyone's first song isn't going to be the best song they've ever written. But having that documented is, I guess, that's part of being I guess your sort of generation, a lot of your life will be online. A lot of your life will be documented already.
Yeah, definitely.
Normal now, isn't it? I suppose older people like myself. That was luckily, I thank God that social media wasn't around when I was growing up, because yeah, there would be some horrific embarrassments there, I'm sure. But that I've been spared. So you started off at a young age, and you got into. So you were performing as like, were you like a blue coat or red coat then?
I suppose that's what they're technically called. I wasn't called a coat. I was just a host, or like an entertainment host. So I was part of the entertainment team. So there's like different people. You can either just be a host, or you can be a part of the performance group, as in like you do the performances and you sing and you do all the kids' performances, which I did because I enjoy performing. So to be fair, it actually helped me with my confidence, because I think there's always a part in somebody's life when they kind of go down in confidence. And mine was when I was 14. Like, I just stopped everything and I kind of became the shell myself. But as soon as I was 18, I was like, that's enough. And I just left. And then I decided I was going to do that. But it's really helped me with my stage confidence again, because I really do enjoy it, and I enjoyed it when I was younger, and I needed to find that again, and that was a great way to do it.
So let's just hover a little bit on that, because that's kind of like a great way of getting into performing, isn't it? And I suppose if you have those kind of dreams and ambitions, then I guess starting at a holiday park and then getting paid to do it as well, it probably isn't a bad way to start, right? And I guess you probably find out then whether you actually really do want to do it, or whether it's just like, actually, yeah, maybe I don't. So it sounded like you did it for 3 years, so that really boosted your confidence. And so what would be like a typical day being doing that kind of work?
Well, you'd wake up quite early. It's not like it used to be. I think that a lot of the misconception is that it's all like glamorous and everything like that. And back, like I've seen the past, it generally was, but now it's a little bit more relaxed on that. So when you get up, you don't have to like cover your face in makeup anymore. So it's more like a natural thing. You can choose to do whatever you want basically with your face, as long as it's not too much in the daytime. At night time, depending on if you're in a show or not, they will require you to have stage makeup. But when you wake up, you will go and you will do the kids' activities in the morning. And then you will have like a break in between to have like lunch and everything like that, do what you want. And then you would go back in the afternoon for the second kids' activities, possibly pool activities if you wanted to do that as well. And then at the end of the day, there would be a performance. And it was either you or we'd have other acts come in and you'd have to introduce them onto the stage. It normally went on until 2 a.m. in the evening, but it was definitely late nights, early mornings. But as a performer, that's something that you need to be okay with, because that's just the life of a performer in
Absolutely. Yeah.
So great, I can actually now survive on 4 hours of sleep. So
Yeah, and that's another thing, isn't it? Like people who I guess I'm just, if anyone's watching this and they're just kind of wanting to get into music and they're not sure how to do it. I mean, there's so many ways to get in, and I guess this way, as you said, it's a great way of sort of learning about the industry, learning when you've got what it takes, whether you're learning you could actually do it, whether you cut out for it. And as you said, the reality is a lot of people see performers on stage and they think it's just great fun, and well, it is, I suppose, but it is a lot of hard work, as you said, and a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of late nights, which not everyone's okay with that.
Yeah, no, some people definitely love their sleep. So if you love your sleep, this is not for you.
Yeah.
I'm not really bothered. I mean, obviously sleep's always important, and you should always try and get it in as much as you want or need. I've been told you need 8 hours as an adult, but it's just something that you're going to fit in if this is where you want.
So you did the 3 hours at the holiday camp, and then you thought, it was time for something new.
Yeah, I think that the point of that journey was to help get myself back into what I love and to make sure it's definitely for me. And I think that after the 3 years, it kind of got to the point where I was like, well, I'm clearly confident, I clearly love it, but this is not the end of the road for me. This is not the thing that I'm gonna carry on doing for the rest of my life. So I wanted to carry on and find something that was what I wanted to do. And it wasn't until like 2 years ago that I generally realized that it's something I used to love, and I tried it again, and obviously it's a little bit different because I'm not 11 anymore. So now I wrote a song, and I actually loved it. It was great. It came to me quite easily, because I like to express my emotions through song. Music's very much how I express how I'm feeling. So it just makes sense to me in general to do this. And obviously I enjoy performing, and I'm fine with not being able to sleep.
And I suppose with a name like Tammy Mariah, you've already, it's kind of destined for a sort of a stage singing life, right? Was that intentional? Your name like having your
I've
name
been
like?
told that a lot. I was named after Tammy Wynette and Mariah Carey when I was born. Again, because my mum thought I was singing and she thought I was dancing as well in when she had me. So that's why I am Tammy Mariah. My real name is actually spelt with an IE, but I've made it a Y because I don't know. I just gravitated towards it a bit more.
Right, and so your family's musical, or?
Definitely musical. Some of them would prefer not to be in public doing it. A lot of two of them can play instruments, and the other two can sing. And then the other one is very much, she just loves listening to it, and again she expresses herself through listening to things. I have a lot of siblings.
Oh, okay. So how big is your family? How many siblings?
I have I've got 4 sisters and a brother, and then obviously mum and dad.
Oh, it's a pretty big family. So, and you are, where are you in that?
I'm the second youngest
Okay.
in my family. My youngest brother is quite a lot younger than me. He is, I want to say 15, but he could be 14. He'll be 15 in September.
Wow, it's quite a gap.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got a big family, but that's are they very supportive of what you're doing?
Yes, they have actually been extremely supportive with what I'm doing currently. I didn't expect the amount of support I've got, and I am so appreciative of it. It literally has just been a massive change, and it was not what I was expecting at all, but I'm so grateful for what I've got.
Right. So let's talk to me about your meeting with Louise then. So you were in a girl band, you met Louise, and so what kind of started off your journey with her? What was the first single? How did that get started?
So Louise started off by saying can you have a go at writing a song to kind of help you find your niche and what kind of music that you're into. And that's actually where Go Away started. I originally wrote a song that was called If It Ain't Me, which didn't make it, but it was a great start, because you've always got to have, they're not all going to be perfect, and at the end of the day it's a learning curve, and it helped me to Go Away. And I realized from that first song that dance and pop was two things that I enjoyed, so I wanted to do a bit more of the dancey thing, a bit more like Becky Hill. But at the same time, my message was still that you're okay by yourself. You've got to start standing up for yourself when people are not treating you correctly. like that sort of thing. And I just think that there's so many songs that are currently about heartbreak and everything like that. And trust me, I listen to them because I've been through it as well. Like, everyone needs those songs, but you also need the songs that tell you it's going to be okay. And these people, you know, they're going to come and they're going to go and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you've got to pick what's best for you.
And so the next single the most recent single that you've done.
Yeah. So Can't Take It Back was about basically the people that come into your life, cause like a massive explosion, and then they go. Maybe because you told them to, or maybe they just went because they left you while you were down. And then when you're finally up, you're better and you're feeling great, they come back and they want you to give them another chance. But truth be told, you can't take that back. Like, what you've done, you can't take it back. And I've learned the hard way that a lot of people are incapable of change. And I've had to learn that they can't take that back. Like, it's always going to be there in the back of my head that they did it. Like, you could have had, like, forever, you could have been, like, it's not even generally just based on, like, partners, like, even friendships, they tend to end up like this as well sometimes. Like, they will cause a problem and they will do something and then they'll come back as if you owe them another chance. And the truth is that you don't. And it's always going to be there, and you're never going to trust them because they can't take it back in the end.
And what's the kind of influence of the musically? Because I know that so you've been working with Jansky.
Yeah, I actually flew to Norway to go and work with him, and that was amazing because I've tried to write with other people before, and it just, I feel like it has to click. Like, you've got to find someone that clicks with you. And I went to Norway and we wrote a new song, which is actually the one coming out next. We wrote a new song and it just came so naturally, like it just came out of nowhere. And it was, I absolutely love it and I can't wait to release this one.
And that one's called?
It's called No Escaping Karma. I know. It's really staying on trend.
Yeah, it's kind of like a trilogy with the song here. The single releases is like a kind of a journey, right? Sounds like.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a journey of self-worth, and it's definitely realizing that, you know, these people again are not going to change. It's literally, I'm hoping to get to the end and feel like I've made a difference and helped some people realize that they are worth it. They don't need these people, and you know that these people are just there to, that you always learn from these people. They're lessons, in my opinion. I call them lessons learned. But you don't go back to that. So yeah, so the next song, No Escaping Karma, is actually written about a personal thing that's happened to me. I mean, they've all been about personal things, but this one particularly was a little bit more on the personal side.
So we're talking quite a bit about music here, but you've also built a pretty decent following on TikTok. So yeah, talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I am actually a TikToker as well. My TikTok account started off as acting. It was more of an acting account because I also like acting as well. My following kind of went up a lot, especially during COVID, because I think that everybody was more on their phones. But I was doing like pop acting, which is basically there's a song and you act to the song and create a storyline based on the song. So still including some music. Obviously now I'm trying to put it into my music here. Still doing what I was doing before because that's why people have followed me, but I want to try and expand the fact that I'm doing music as well. I mean, I'm on 129.2k followers now, I believe, and 3.1 million likes. I could be wrong, but that's where I think I am at the minute. It's going really well. I mean, I'm getting great feedback. Obviously everyone has their mean things to say, but at the end of it, I'm just trying to do what makes me happy.
So talk to us about how you got to that point, because I mean that's a pretty big following, and there's a lot of people out there who are kind of aiming for those kind of numbers, or who kind of dream to get to that kind of level of amount of followers. So talk to us how that actually started, and what's your kind of routine or strategy with it.
I started TikTok when it was Musical.ly, when I was 18. It was actually quite new then, so everybody who was on it there was very few videos. So my first video took off quite a lot, because of the fact that there was no one on the channel. But after that, I started posting more regularly. I got really into it. I saw it as something that was kind of like a hobby in a certain way. I think that's also important, that you shouldn't see it as a chore or a job, because if you do, it becomes a chore or a job. You know, like when you go to work and you're sitting there, like when on your first day, it's like great, and you're like, oh, this is so exciting, it's a new job. But then after a while, it becomes boring, and it becomes like, oh, it's just every day and there's nothing new. And it's the same with this. If you're not doing it because you find it fun, or it's not enjoyable for you anymore, then you know it's just going to stop the following, because people want genuine. They want to watch like you being your true self. And I've learned that the hard way, because I did do a few trial and errors, because I thought that I had to look a certain way, like less natural, so I put like loads of makeup on. But I'm not a makeup channel, so that wasn't what I do. I mean, I love makeup and I love expressing myself through makeup, except it's not something I'm really like passionate about. So when I was doing all this makeup and I was doing all the trends for makeup, it wasn't going anywhere, because it wasn't genuine. So when I started being myself, I was, because I tend to be a little bit more on the natural makeup spectrum. I don't tend to put a lot on my face. Like I'll put foundation on, or some eyelashes, or some eyebrows. Like I've done that today. It's just it's called a natural base, but it's not actually technically natural. But it's like that. And then I was calming down a bit with what I was doing, and it started going further again. Like people could see that I was being myself. So I would say post consistently, be genuine, and love what you're doing. That's what I would say is my 2 tips.
And how have your followers responded to your singles?
I've had a lot of great feedback. Obviously it's still early days with me posting it on TikTok. I think that when it comes to TikTok tends to only push what your account kind of gets great feedback on. And since music's quite new to my account, I will have to keep doing it consistently, because it is something I'm passionate about. I've had a lot of great feedback. I've had people messaging me on Instagram actually to tell me that they like my song, and I get messages on TikTok as well of people saying that they love my song and they can't wait for the next one, which is great, and that makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. It doesn't happen overnight. I know there are random anomalies where it does, but you'll find that if you look at their channels, they've worked up to it.
So your singles getting to, I think the last single you did put out, was it number 7?
Yeah, Go Away got to number 7. Well, Can't Take It Back's currently in the clubs now, so I'm waiting to hear how that goes. It's obviously been released. Spotify seems to be doing really well, which makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm currently on 22,170 monthly listeners on Spotify. So
that's pretty good.
That's with both singles combined.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of you're following on TikTok, you've got an Instagram account, you're on Spotify. So
Yeah.
how does that add up sort of financially? Is there any kind of the kind of numbers you're getting from that, or?
I would say that this is definitely not a cheap career to go into. If you're going to do it, you need to be committed and go all the way. You definitely need to have a bit of financial support behind you. It's definitely not cheap, but it's worth it if it's what you want to do. I've definitely had a lot of support. A lot of people have helped me with little bits because they believe in me, which again I really appreciate. Obviously, my parents are helping in what they can. I'm doing my part as well. I also have a job, so I'm not just sitting here taking in all the glory. I'm just sitting here and I'm doing my part as well. Obviously, I have to do the promote work, the social media as well.
Mhm.
So it literally is, you've got to be all hands on deck, you've got to be everywhere and no sleep. You have to go and show your face at different things, and you just generally have to make sure that you enjoy it.
So in terms of like income from the music, have you seen any income from your kind of TikTok following or from the Spotify streams?
I'm not really paying attention to that at the moment. I think that it's I haven't actually checked, but I would assume that now I'm getting a little bit of income. I wouldn't say it's a lot, but I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because I want to do this as a career. It's what I want to do with my life. Obviously, I wish that everything was free, but it's not. But I'm happy with what's going on at the minute.
So talk to me a little bit about your performance. So we kind of talked briefly about that in when you were doing the holiday entertainment. So like promoting your current.
What my live performances.
Yeah, where do you see live performance kind of fitting into your career?
I think that ultimately my goal is to start doing performances a lot more. It's definitely something that I would like to work up towards or do quite regularly. I mean, I would like to have a tour at some point in my life. I think that's probably my ultimate goal at the moment, to get to that point. The performing is quite natural for me now because obviously I did 3 years of it, and it was exciting and it was great, and it's really helped me to realise that that's the part that I enjoy probably the most out of all of it. Being on the stage and performing it, it's like a massive adrenaline rush, which I'm sure a lot of people probably say it as well in this industry. But it's definitely what I want to be doing as an ultimate goal at the moment.
And how is it working with Louise? What kind of impact has she had on your music career?
Louise she's been with me the whole way. She really has been kind of my rock with this. Obviously, when you come into this, I was completely new to it. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what I had to do, anything like that. And she's kind of been like a tour guide through the whole thing. She's helped me with absolutely everything, and she'll ring me and she'll say things that honestly I don't understand half the time, but she'll take the time to explain it to me, because she keeps telling me she believes in me, and that is really, really important for somebody in my position to have those people telling me I can do it, because it's really important that you have those people behind you. And she really has been with me this whole time. Like she contacts people for me, and she sorts things out, and you know, she does it all because she believes in it.
Yeah, sorry, I think we're just losing the sound a little bit there. The connection's going a bit, but I guess that's the beauties of going live. I think it's come back now. So anyway, it's been great chatting with you, Tammy, and finally get to meet you after all these weeks of it not happening. But yeah, I wish you all the best. And like I say, I know that I've spoke to Louise a few times now, and I've spoke to Yansky, and kind of know the team that you're working with. I know they're all very experienced professionals. So yeah, I'm sure you've got the best team around you. You've got the best chance of succeeding, especially with your ever growing following. I'm sure that'll it's going to help you spread your music far and wide. So the next single that's coming out is when's that going to be? Do you know?
I believe it's going to be between like near Halloween time, because I thought that kind of matches the whole karma vibe, you know, a bit like the devil.
Great. And so where can we find you if people are watching this and they want to check out your music and check out your TikTok?
You can find it on Spotify or YouTube. They're all Tammy Mariah. Everything's Tammy Mariah, TikTok, and also Twitter, which is now, I think it's actually called X now.
That's right.
Which is it's cool. It's like and also Instagram, it's _ Tammy Mariah _.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, Tammy, and yeah, look forward to seeing what you do next.
Lovely. Thank you, Spence.
No problem. Take care.
Okay.
Be prosperous.